This story is about a cunning thief whom the police have been searching for years. Now, the police have devised a plan so foolproof that no thief in the world can escape. At the beginning of the story, we see a thief climbing to the top of a building using a rope. The thief's name is Diabolic, and despite years of effort, the police have not been able to catch him. Today, Diabolic is attempting to steal a priceless crown from this building. While the building has security guards, they are all preoccupied with playing cards. Diabolic enters the building and encounters a security guard, whom he kills. He then opens the door to the room containing the crown. As soon as the door opens, the security alarm goes off, alerting the entire security team, who rush upstairs. However, when the guards try to open the room's door, they find it locked from the inside, as Diabolic has secured it. Now, he begins cutting through the bars protecting the crown. The security team, desperate to open the door, uses dynamite to blast it open. By the time they enter, Diabolic has already escaped with the crown using a paraglider. The security team watches helplessly as he flies away. Diabolic lands his paraglider on a car being driven by his girlfriend, Eva, and together they successfully pull off the heist, leaving the security team in the dust. A few days later, a fashion show is held featuring 5 top models adorned with extremely expensive jewelry. The show is organized by the same jewelry company from which Diabolic and Eva had stolen the crown. The jewelry on display is highly coveted and security is tight, especially after the recent theft. As the models finish their performance, the lights suddenly go out. A man dressed as a police officer approaches the models and asks them to follow him. He takes them to a room and shuts the shutter from the outside. But this room is not what it seems. It's actually a truck. The police officer starts driving the truck. Moments later, he removes his mask, revealing that he is none other than Diabolic. Once again, Diabolic has robbed the same company. He instructs the models to remove their jewelry and leaves them stranded on the roadside before escaping. He then drives to a cliff, presses a button in his car, and a hidden passage opens in the cliffside. This is Diabolic's secret hideout where he stores his stolen treasures. He drives his car into the tunnel. Meanwhile, the 5 models arrive at a nearby motel and call an inspector, revealing that their plan was successful. It turns out they are not models, but undercover agents. The jewelry they wore contained trackers, allowing the inspector to locate Diabolic's hideout. The inspector starts tracking him. Meanwhile, Diabolic and Eva, elated from their heist, discuss their next move. Eva suggests leaving the country as they now have enough money, but Diabolic insists on completing one last job. The inspector arrives at the cliff where the tracker leads him but finds the passage sealed. However, the tracker confirms the location, so he uses dynamite to blow open the cliff, revealing a long tunnel. The explosion alerts Diabolic, who sees the police through his CCTV cameras. Realizing he has no choice, he decides to abandon his treasures and escape with Eva. The inspector enters the hideout and finds many priceless artifacts and paintings, but is determined to catch Diabolic. While escaping, Eva's foot gets stuck. Diabolic tries to help her but realizes he doesn't have enough time. As the inspector is closing in, he leaves Eva behind, breaking her heart. Feeling betrayed, Eva manages to free herself and jumps into the water before the inspector can reach her. Once again, Diabolic and Eva outsmart the inspector and escape. The inspector, disappointed, returns to the hideout to confiscate Diabolic's treasures. Among the items, he finds a sketch of a building and realizes it must have some connection to Diabolic. He takes his team to the building and searches thoroughly but finds nothing. Then, a police officer accidentally pulls a lever, revealing a hidden door. Inside, they find a basement with a machine used by Diabolic to create masks resembling other people's faces. The inspector instructs his team not to touch anything, anticipating that Diabolic will return for his machine before his next heist. The inspector's girlfriend, a city princess, wants to marry him, but the inspector insists he will not marry until he arrests Diabolic. She invites him to a party at her home, where she plans to wear an expensive necklace. She asks the inspector to stay by her side to prevent Diabolic from attempting a theft. The inspector agrees. Meanwhile, Diabolic waits outside the building where his mask-making machine is hidden, looking for an opportunity to enter. When the security shifts change, he sneaks inside and reaches the basement. A police officer spots him and fires at him, but the bullets don't hit Diabolic as a bulletproof glass separates them. Hearing the gunshots, the security team rushes to the basement, only to find the officer unconscious. Diabolic escapes with the machine. The inspector, furious, is summoned by his superiors, who question how Diabolic managed to outsmart him again. Just then, Eva calls the inspector, offering to help arrest Diabolic in exchange for immunity from all criminal charges and relocation to another country. Although the inspector is reluctant, his superiors approve the plan. Eva gives the inspector 30 minutes before calling him again. The inspector devises a plan to track Eva's location during the call. 30 minutes later, when Eva calls, the inspector engages her in conversation while his team triangulates her location. They find the call is coming from a telephone booth and surround it. But when they open the booth, Eva is gone, having escaped through an underground sewer. Once again, Eva slips through their fingers. Meanwhile, the police check the confiscated items from Diabolic's hideout and discover that a bracelet containing a tracker is missing. This means the tracker is still active, leading them to Diabolic's or Eva's location. They inform Officer Roller about this, setting the stage for another chase. Roller turns out to be the same police officer whom Diabolic had knocked unconscious in the basement and stolen his mask-making machine. Now, Roller arrives at the location where Eva is hiding. He instructs Eva to stay where she is and moves to capture her. However, Eva, being clever, attacks him, snatches his gun, and knocks him out. She escapes using his car. When Roller regains consciousness, he informs everyone that he successfully managed to acquire Eva's bracelet. What Roller doesn't realize is that the bracelet has a tracker, which could have been used to locate and arrest Eva. However, now the chance to track her is lost. Meanwhile, the inspector is summoned by his superiors, who remind him to stick to the original plan. They instruct him to use Eva to catch Diabolic. Although the inspector does not want to do this, he has no choice but to comply. The inspector somehow meets Eva and tells her about the plan. Eva responds by sharing her own idea. Diabolic wants to recover all the gold he lost, which is currently in police custody. We need to spread the word that the police will soon transport the gold from one location to another. Diabolic will undoubtedly attempt to retrieve it during this transfer. We'll secure the transport van with heavy security and lead it into a tunnel. Diabolic will most likely attack the van there to reclaim his gold, and at that moment, we'll arrest him. Meanwhile, the real gold will be discreetly moved in an ordinary vehicle to another location. The inspector finds Eva's plan excellent and agrees to execute it. They spread the word in the market that the gold will soon be moved. On the day of the operation, the inspector's girlfriend is hosting a party, during which she plans to wear a valuable necklace. The inspector visits his girlfriend to apologize, saying he cannot attend the party. However, he assures her that he will send special officers for her security. The inspector and his team begin preparing for the plan. During the discussion, someone asks who will drive the van carrying the real gold. Roller volunteers, saying, "Diabolic has deceived me twice, but this time, I will ensure justice, even if it costs me my life." The inspector moves a decoy van, heavily guarded, to mislead Diabolic. Meanwhile, Roller is shown driving the van carrying the real gold alone on a secluded road. The decoy van proceeds into the tunnel, where the doors close suddenly, trapping it. To everyone's surprise, Diabolic appears. The police open fire on him, only to realize it's not Diabolic but a mannequin. Simultaneously, the inspector's girlfriend is shown getting ready for her party. When she opens her drawer to take out her necklace, it's missing. This reveals that the necklace has been stolen, and her makeup artist, whom she had hired for the day, is also nowhere to be found. Roller is shown stopping the real gold van in a forested area. Another vehicle arrives, and a woman steps out. It's the inspector's girlfriend's makeup artist. This woman removes her disguise, revealing herself to be Eva. At the same moment, Roller also removes his mask, exposing himself as none other than Diabolic. It is revealed that Diabolic had anticipated the police's actions from the very beginning. When he stole the model's jewelry, he deliberately left clues, knowing the police would track him down. He staged the incident with Eva to make the inspector believe he had betrayed her, leading them to trust her. When the police discovered his hideout and mask-making machine, Diabolic allowed them to take him, disguised as Roller. He then replaced Roller, ensuring the police unknowingly worked alongside him. This is why he had taken Eva's bracelet, to prevent the police from tracking her. With his clever plan, Diabolic retrieves all his stolen goods, including the inspector's girlfriend's priceless necklace. He and Eva escape together, leaving the country for good. Now, with enough wealth to live comfortably for the rest of his life, Diabolic still remains a cunning thief. His habit of stealing goes beyond money. It's a passion. Who knows, he might strike again, and the inspector may face him once more. This was the full story of Diabolic. We hope you enjoyed it.